First tonight, the president touching down in Michigan for a rally on the east side of the state. He is opting to come to Washington Township tonight, skipping the annual White House Correspondents Dinner in D.C. to deliver a speech to his supporters. 24-hour News 8's political reporter Rick Albin is in Macomb County tonight, where the rally will be getting underway in just about an hour.
President Trump comes here at a very pivotal time for both policy and politics. Organizers tell us more than 5,000 people will be here at this indoor soccer arena that opened only earlier this year. And if history serves as any indicator, there may be some folks here who don't support the president. Those folks have become a hallmark at the Trump events. Nonetheless, the president is going to talk about what he says are promises that he has kept, promises that he made during extensive campaigning in the state in 2016. Things like getting tough on trade and keeping the country safe. He'll point to his tariffs that he's imposed, from his perspective, to even the playing field for American manufacturers of steel and other products. On the security front, expect him to talk about those talks going on between North and South Korea, the first in more than 6 decades, and a pending meeting he has with the leader of North Korea, a man he has referred to more than once as Rocket Man. He'll talk about the tax plan, the wall, the swamp, all part of what we'll hear tonight. But one of the things to watch for is just exactly who, if anyone, and how much. He talks about Michigan's upcoming election. A number of candidates are trying to curry favor with the Trump crowd in the Republican primary, but a mention by the president tonight could have some real impact with some voters. It could also be used by Democrats in November. Such an endorsement can be a double-edged sword. But for the vast majority of people here tonight, they simply want to see and hear from President Donald Trump. His loyal supporters remain so after a chaotic year and a half since his election, one that has seen some of his favorability ratings take a hit. But if you ask most people here tonight, they would probably say that is fake news. We'll have updates tonight at 10 and 11 on the president's visit. In Macomb County, I'm Rick Albin, 24-hour News 8.